I don't think that information communication technologies have a negative effect on human rights. On contrary, I think that they boost the development of people's right to know and to access the information. And in that context, it is more important to have media literacy and internet literacy for children in primary school and also for all the generations of citizens on how to use new technologies in a way to gain the knowledge and the information that are necessary for their daily life. As for the search engines, like Google, I think that it is very important that everyone knows that there are commercial search engines. So every search engine that we use is commercial in its context. So that means that companies are paying for their words to be announced on the top of the list of our search results. And therefore it is very important that public is aware that search engines are not source of information that we can trust in general. It is one of the most important, and that is the regulation of new media. And I think that the role of the Council of Europe is crucial in regulating new media, especially bearing in mind the European Convention on Human Rights and Article 10. In many people's opinion, Internet is not regulated at all. But it is actually the most regulated place on earth, because every country in the world has at least one part or one piece of legislation that regulates the Internet, and that is something that should bear in mind when we think about it. Also, it's not about regulation, a co-regulation or self-regulation, is also about the enforcement. I would also like to say that we should also note that there is a new form of citizen journalism, and that is something that is new for new media and that doesn't exist in traditional media, or sometimes it's mixed, because we have a lot of new traditional media that have their websites and that allow comments on a website, that allow that citizens send their for example video clips or news, etc., and that it is published as main news. It is important to note that it is completely different form from traditional media, and there are many different theories that are thinking whether citizen journalism is a new form of journalism or that is just regular freedom of expression of an individual. When citizen journalism becomes a journalism, we need to think whether we can use that information as valid information, as the information we can trust, and how do we do with that. Maybe that would be something that the Council of Europe should also take into consideration, how to regulate new forms of journalism. Also, what are the ways to validate sources of information of citizens, and how can we know that information available online is true or not. I think that receiving media is important for everyone. We can't forget that receiving media is a basic human right guaranteed with many international documents. It is very important to receive new media also, and every country in the world should make sure that their citizens have a proper access to the internet, and not only access but also the information, what kind of content they can find online. Benefits for population are enormous, and I think that everyone today knows that. We now use the internet for daily lives. We use emails, we use e-documents, we use e-libraries. Everything is becoming electronic. And I think that every country should boost that and allow its citizens to use all the benefits of the new technologies. It is important to note that many countries do have traditional media law, regulation and policy, and the question is when and how can we implement the existing legislation on new media and new content that is available. That the government should consider their existing media legislation and see whether it can be implementable on new media. If not, how the new legislation could be improved, in what way, and also the most important thing is to promote media literacy among their citizens. It is also important to make internet affordable and accessible to everyone in our countries.